Google, Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft are spending $725 billion alone on AI infrastructure. And they're doing it by getting rid of a lot of their workforce. In this video, I'm going to tell you about why that is, what the greater implications are, and what you can do about it to make sure that you're prepared and ready to step into this new world. Now, most people think that these layoffs are just about saving money. A lot of people think that these companies are just trying to save a penny here, save some money here, or that they're in a bind or in a tough spot. Let me tell you, that's not happening, and that's not what the case is. Most people think the layoffs are a cycle. The companies cut when times are high and they hire back when things improve. And that's how it used to work, but that's not quite what's happening right now. Like, imagine waking up and seeing that the company that you work for or a company that you're aware of is getting rid of 10% of its workforce. Okay, that makes sense, especially historically. It's not like companies don't lay people off. But when you start to dig in a little bit more, you start to realize that there are other trends that make this a lot more interesting and worth understanding and knowing about. For example, last year, those companies that I talked about spent $410 billion on their AI investments. This year, it's up 77%, and that's what brings us to that $725 billion figure. That's a big jump. Meta's AI budget is 4 to 5 times what they spend on employee compensation. And when you look at it, they are leaning towards replacing more and more tasks with artificial intelligence or AI infrastructure that can enable artificial intelligence to allow their remaining employees to work more effectively and more efficiently. So we have to pay attention to this because it's not like the money just disappeared. It moved from the people to the machines. It's something that a lot of executives are saying we can't look past and we can't ignore it. And that's not a bad thing in and of itself, but it can be a bad thing if we're leaving people behind. And that's why I want to get into this, because I think it's really pivotal that we understand what's going on here and we prepare ourselves and we get ready. So if the capital is moved to machines, then where does this leave the people? Where does this leave you and I? I'm going to show you something that most people are missing right now. So here's the thing that nobody's talking about, or the people that are talking about it are not being broadcast enough. Recently, a couple months ago, there were employees that woke up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., like their regular morning ritual, and they looked at their phone, they saw an email, and they saw that 30,000 employees at their company all got laid off in an email like that. No prior warning, no anything. And to the company's respect, if you're going to lay off 30,000 people, it's hard to do each one individually. So they blanket laid off this large amount of people. So why is this worth noting? Well, it's worth noting because in the quarter previous, this company, Oracle, made $6 billion profitability. They were profitable by billions of dollars. They were reallocating their money and then also laying off employees to really invest in their artificial intelligence infrastructure. And they said that it's very key and it's very important. 115,000 tech workers have been laid off through May 2026. AI was the number one cited reason for these layoffs in both March and in April 2026. 49,135 AI related layoffs are attributed to these layoffs this year. CFOs privately admitted that AI layoffs will be 9 times what they were last year in 2025. And it looks like we're on trend for this. White collar payrolls have contracted for 29 consecutive months without precedent. I mean, this is real stuff. There's a lot of noise going on, but we have to pay attention to these contractions and what's happening here and what's happening there because there are real implications for us. It's not just happening in an isolation. they're trends that are continuing to pick up and show themselves over time. So what we have to do is we have to look at our industry. Take a look, don't look away, don't ignore. Take a look and say, what's happening right now? How does this affect me? Is it affecting my industry? And I'm not one who believes that blue collar jobs are safe. I'm not one who believes that it's just in the tech sector. I think it's a blanket thing that's happening across industries right now because technology is that transformative and there are other external pressures that are forcing this to be even more important for companies to take on. So here's what's interesting though. While these layoffs are accelerating, while Meta laid off another 8,000 people recently, while Oracle laid off their 30,000 people recently, and there are a number of other companies that are in the same boat, we're seeing there's this huge uptick in businesses being formed, specifically small businesses, solo businesses. And I believe that that's where the trend is going to continue going. Let me give you a little scenario. So imagine you are somebody who just got laid off from your tech company. There are two paths that you could take. You could take one path where you say, hey, I'm going to continue to apply to a market that laid me off and that's showing no signs of reversing back and reverting back to what it was doing before. Or I can take this other option and say, let me explore what it means to start a business. Let me see what there is out there in terms of other income earning options and see what I can do. See what I can do that I might not have done in the past. And I think that that's a really, really smart idea because if you look at it, this is where most people are starting to move their attention. 33% of adult Americans, adults in the US, said that they plan to start a business in 2026. That's a 94% increase from 2025. In Q1 of 2026, business applications were up 25.5% year over year. That's 5.62 million new business applications that were filed in 2025, then were filed in 2025. And that's up from 5.2 million in 2024. The entrepreneurship response is accelerating, it's moving forward. So here's why that matters. The people who are moving fastest aren't the ones with the best resumes, the best job history. It's the people that are recognizing the opportunity. They're the people that are recognizing the shift in what's happening and that are deciding to move forward and exploring the terrain. And to be clear, you don't have to give up everything to explore this new space, especially if you haven't been put in a situation where your feet are on the fire. All it takes is looking, interest, and exploring what's out there and where things are going. So by watching this video, I can already tell that your attention is tuned that way. But we're going to continue to bring more information to enlighten and to make people aware of what's going on. So the window is open right now. A lot of people don't see it, but if you act right now, you can take advantage of it. And this sets up the next thing, which is something that I want you to pay attention to and make sure that you walk away with, because it could be the difference between you finding yourself in a really difficult situation or looking back and feeling relieved and saying, wow, I'm glad I did that. And that's this idea around creating an offer that's aligned with your interests, your skills, and your experience. Now, I had a friend who had a great idea who said, I want to explore how I can take my idea out here and start a business. And he wanted to move into business. He had a great idea, but he didn't really know how to package it. He didn't really know how to communicate it. He didn't even really know the mechanics of business. Now, if you're not aware of my philosophy on business, is I believe that business is a game of offers and deals. I believe the offer is your shot on the goal, and the deal is when you score. So in business, we have to get really good at making offers and deals. And if you make an offer that's in line with your interests, your skills, and your experience, then you can make a deal that's unique to you and that the market needs. And that's how you can stay busy in a profitable way. So going back to my friend reached out to me. He said, hey, I've been having trouble. I've been stuck. I don't really know how to grow my idea. I don't know how to get it out there. And I just boiled it down to that. I said, hey, it's business, offers, deals. what are you offering? He said, well, I have this idea. I said, okay, well, now let's turn this into a formal offer. Let's turn this into something that you can present and that you can exchange for the monies, that you can exchange for the receipts. And he said, all right, let's do this. Fast forward, he was able to not only grow his audience online because he was clear in what he was communicating. He was clear that, hey, this is what I'm offering to you. Not just I want to make money, but here's what I'm giving you. So that way you feel compelled to give me money. But he was able to understand what was going on. He was able to understand even more so that the offer that the companies, especially bigger companies, the offer that they were giving before, hey, we will give you these benefits, we'll give you this compensation if you show up from 9 to 5 during this time period or whatever your work hours were. That was the offer that was on the table before, and he was receiving it. But now he's out here making offers and putting himself in a position where he's resilient to the changing workforce and the changing economy and the changing dynamics. So to tie this all up, what we're doing and what we do and what this whole platform is about is enlightening people and giving people the information they need to go and make offers. We created constants.com, hence the Constants Corner. We created constants.com so that way it's easy for people to make offers. Most people are making the money they should be making. And we understand how overwhelming it can be to set up shop, to find out where to start, to find out what to do, to find out the terminology, all of that. And so what we did is we created Constants, a platform that provides the best set of tools for a business person or a small team to make offers and to start their business up and ultimately make money. And so if you go to constants.com, you go through the onboarding process, and if you pick the tools that you want to use in this toolkit, you'll have everything you need to start a business today and start making offers today. If anything, you might be able to start making money ASAP if you take it and you believe in it and you go out there and make an offer. So, in summary, the market's changing right now. Companies are shifting their dollars to AI infrastructure investment, and we're seeing the real effects that's happening on the job market. As more investment goes into AI infrastructure, people get laid off because they're not necessarily needed as much right now for any clear, obvious reason. And that's putting people in a position where they have to find new areas to earn money. Well, thankfully, we live in a time right now where we can go out here and start businesses online by making offers. And that's what it's business isn't paperwork, a business isn't a website, a business isn't branding colors together. It's more than that. And it's something more fundamental than that. It's making an offer and closing a deal, and all of that stuff that I just listed supports that. So if you found value in this, join us for the ride. We're going to have more and more videos like this. And don't take my word for it. Do your research, get out into the world, explore, communicate, and share this with a person who might be needing to hear this information today. My name is Tendo. This is the Constants Corner. Until next time, peace out.